My name is Nicolas Plowski Gonzalez.
I'm Fredrik Restaner.
My name is Patrick Forrest Lim.
I'm Jonas Lekra Olofsson.
Hi, my name is Gert Troy.
Hello everyone, my name is Gabriel.
Fernando.
Vito.
Lucas.
Pistachio.
I play for Made in Brazil and I'm the in-game leader of the team.
I am the Interfragger for Team MIBR.
I play for MIBR and I am AWP.
I am Interfragger of MIBR.
I'm most likely a support player for Team MIBR.
Of all those titles that flashed across the screen, I think the food trucks are what I am most looking forward to. Welcome back to V4 Future Sports Festival in Budapest. We've got Jacob and Drowlin on the desk with us now. And did you notice that Get Right was missing in that NiP video?
Yeah, it makes you wonder why that was. Maybe he was just feeling a little bit ill, didn't really want to go outside. I have those days as well.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Could be that. They were missing for a little while here as well, Drowlin.
Oh, yes, indeed. And, I mean, looking at both teams here, I think they have the same storyline where they have a new roster, relatively, and they're looking to solidify that a bit. Obviously, NiP had a bit more time because they had this roster before Cologne, but then they had the major stint with Golden, and that kind of threw a wrench in the midst of things. So right now, I guess both of them are looking to build something a bit more consistent here. And if you look at the event, no NRG, no Astralis, no Team Liquid. If both teams are playing up to par, this is definitely something that they are capable of taking.
The biggest difference between these two teams is the fact that MIBR have actually done, some work. They've done some research and they've tried to assemble a squad for the future. They brought in KNG. That was the guy they wanted to the lineup. They're trying to build up, to become great again. Whereas for NiP, what is it now? Fourth or fifth month? We don't know whatever Get Right is going to stay or not. There's no direction from NiP. We don't know what's up with this squad. We don't know if these 5 players are even going to be in an NiP jersey by the end of the year. And that baffles my mind that you can have such a great organization with so much horsepower behind it, still manage it so bad.
I think they are very different, as you say. Certainly one team op heavy right now with KNG and Fallen. The other team op light with Lekro picking it up lately, Forrest picking it up lately.
To be the main AWP player now, which is also a problem.
And you were calling that out. But I think they're both teams searching for their identity again. Even Taco said, I'm most likely a support player in this team. There's going to be an adjustment period. And like you say with NiP, we don't even know where they are right now. I mean, this is who shows up on the day.
All I'm saying, from the outside, it looks like MIBR is actually trying to find that identity. They're making progress. They're being proactive about it. They're trying to make, certain decisions in order to facilitate a new MIBR. Whereas for NiP, I don't see what direction they're going in. They're just stalling right now.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot of question marks on the NiP side, and I think you raise a very important point. As yesterday we discussed that on the MIBR side is that op heavy, and the riflers who need to step up. But here's the other way around. You have the riflers, of course, but then the op is a big question mark. You have it on Forrest, sometimes Lekro, and that's something that it's not something that you want to juggle around when you're up against an MIBR.
Well, with that, we won't juggle the maps either. We've already got them NiP going straight to Inferno. MIBR going on Dust 2, and then we're left over with Train. Good off potential on all 3 of those maps, really.
I think it makes sense for NiP to pick Inferno. I think Peter from HLTV tweeted out yesterday that this MIBR core is 2-14 on LAN matches in terms of Inferno, right? They lost 14 and only won 2, so that's a pretty bad statistic. Potentially even the worst map statistic out of any top team in the world. So again, you know, if NiP can't beat them on Inferno, then there's no way they're going to beat them. So I'd edge towards NiP on that one. Whereas for the other map, Dust 2, it's a map that is open. It's a map that really, you know, you can facilitate a double op setup. You can really facilitate Fallen and KNG at the same time, and I think that's going to play in as a big factor for MIBR.
I'm gonna go back. As much as we want to talk about maps and specifics to these teams, we've touched on it. We need Rez to show up. Plopsky looks impressive. On the other side, the Riflers need to really take the helm. The NiP point you made, we don't know where they're going. We don't know. What changes would you make?
I would first of all...
If you can't answer with a player or who, maybe just the roles.
First of all, I would free Forrest from the AWP role, right? He's the greatest asset to this team, I'd say, with his rifle. He's so aggressive, he's so good at finding space, and he's creating a lot of space for his teammates. What we've seen so far from Forrest with the AWP is that he doesn't create anything for the team, right? He's not feeling functional, he's not feeling confident in that role. So free him for that responsibility, get in a player who can take that role, and then you need a leader. NiP hasn't had a proper in-game leader ever since Exist left that lineup, and that is a big problem.
Yeah, and Get Right is back in the middle. We touched on that because in the past...
Figure out whether he's going to stay or not. I don't mind if he's going to stay, but make it official, you know, build towards the future.
Absolutely, but more to the point, in-game leading, it's something that Natsu said that they flirted with back in the day. Are they doing it again now? Because traditionally, he's the emotional player that they actually put on the end because he was too emotional, that he was actually tilting his teammates at times.
Look, I personally am not sold on the whole idea of Lekro being the in-game leader, and that's not because I don't think he's capable of that. I just think that for a player of his caliber, like he's one of the most talented players in the Swedish scene, he should not be having the burden of being the in-game leader when you have those extremely experienced players and veterans in the form of Forrest and Get Right.
With me, Lekro was a player just coming into his stride, and then he kind of got forced into that role. He never got to develop fully.
Sure, I agree. I think Lekro had a lot of potential, and I think that kind of got taken away from him. I don't think we got to see the full potential of Lekro as a player, and that was because, as you said, he was nurtured into this role in NiP that he was not supposed to have. That's the biggest problem with NiP. They haven't had a proper leader. They haven't had a proper direction to go towards in dare I say, even 2 years now. It's been a lineup, you know, they come into one tournament, they end up winning it, and then we don't see them for half a year doing absolutely nothing at all.
Yeah.
They come into a new tournament, they do fine, and for whatever reason, that seems to be enough for NiP. But if you're such a big organization with such a big history, you have all that horsepower behind it, then please, for the love of God, do something about it.
There is still a marketing aspect to that, I'm sure, for invites, for
shove this up my nose, but all right.
Gentlemen, hi.
On camera
You came in very quickly. I was going to make a point just about being here and needing to prove it. Well, now they get a chance against MIBR. What do you think, Tom and Jason, of the chances of that? Because MIBR yesterday didn't exactly look solid.
I'm actually leaning the way of the Brazilians. I just think that it was a strong start from NiP, but in all honesty, the way that they fell apart in the game earlier just had me really worried. Whereas, I don't know, I think Taco had one of the worst performances I've seen from him in a long, long time, and I don't think he's going to replicate that. What doesn't know his role in the
team at the moment, really, right? He says,
I think I'm
a support player.
I think he just likes playing to the camera. I don't think that's him having some sort of identity crisis. I think it's more just hey, let's say something that's going to screw with people's heads. Sort of like Rops on Twitter when he says, expect the unexpected. It's no, he's just memeing you. He's trying to get you to, bait into things and look at things like Virtus Pro naming 4 different entry fraggers. I don't think anybody was taking that video completely seriously and sort of oh, let me give them info about our team. No, of course not. And he is going to be the more supportive player, mainly because he's in a team full of star performers. But I still think yesterday he underperformed. But I don't think in this sort of scenario where they're up against a team that they will have played many times before, they'll be seeing the same level from him. And at the same time, you're about to have one of the potentially strongest AWP setups in the whole of Counter-Strike playing against a team that doesn't even have an AWPer. Right. In all honesty, none of these players want to be playing the AWP. I think that in the past, Lekro, as they sort of mentioned on the desk, was an up-and-comer, was a star or a diamond in the rough, all of these cliches. But he was sort of someone that was then forced into a role that I don't think particularly works. He also used to do quite a lot of entry fragging, which, again, we saw it earlier in the day coming out from Rez, but it was more just him running into the B site. It was not the most impressive stuff. And well, look at the Brazilians. They're clearly feeling confident today, running right down mid to try and take the fights. Although It seems like the teams were ready for that. They're not challenging mid at all. In fact, they're not on banana either. This is a really weird pistol round.
They could almost just sneak by them and actually get through apartments if they wanted to. Or they can just fight their way out. Rez, we saw him open up the B site on overpass early on. He's able to open up middle with 2 quickly, but you can see MIBR able to respawn in like down to a 3-on-3 between these two teams. And in the pistol round, with everyone to be all in middle, it just seems to be a little bit awkward, to be honest.
How is this working?
Why are they going into it is my question.
Well, the weirdest thing about this is when you do these sort of aggressive pushes, the thing that normally fails is that you get stuck in mid and you're open to multiple different angles. Somehow, the 3 players that are stuck in mid have just killed everyone, which makes absolutely no sense. As you mentioned, I don't really know why they're fighting this. They literally could have just walked onto the A site if they wanted to. And in fact, I think Gevrez just worked there and went, all right, they all push mid. So that means there's probably no one on A. In fact, he's going to be still peeking. He can just plant the bomb. I guess he wants to try and give himself more of a chance in the clutch, but I think at this point he just has to take the cash and run. Oh, does he go back round?
I don't think he's going to be able to.
Yeah, I think he's maybe overplayed this a little bit. How is he alive? What is going on? How has this pistol gone back again? It's now into a 1 versus 1. This is the most ridiculous pistol round I think I've ever seen in Counter-Strike. KNG now left into a 1 versus 1. He has the kit and Kevlar and an HE advantage, but oh my god, I don't even know.
So far.
I don't even know what to think. That's the messiest pistol round ever.
Kind of is a shame that we can see obviously what they can't with the mini-map, with the X-ray. We knew the A site was open for such a long time, but for Get Right to face 2 players towards long and come out with 2 kills and not die off of that, I'm still confused on how that even happened, let alone the whole beginning of this round.
Yeah, how does this go from a 3v5 into a 3v1? How does he fight versus 3 players and not die? I don't understand so many things about that round, but hey, MIBR won. Now I can forget that ever happened. Do you have one of those things from Men in Black that just like wipes your mind? Because that's what I need.
That's what I use your head for. I just shine some red light on it and then I forget. No, but if that's a sign of how this series is going to go, I have no idea. The chaos that's going to happen within this match alone. I don't know. This is going to be weird. This is going to be interesting. Inferno, Death 2, Train. That was only the first round of this highlight match of today, I'd say. These 2 big dogs going head-to-head. The last time they did meet was in Moscow, and that ended up in a tie, a 15 apiece on Train. You can see, though, at least some money to spend for NiP, and they've been able to buy up into this. I wonder what's going to happen once we do get the setup out of MIBR with the double ops, though. We already talked about it, and you mentioned it in that round as well. Strong ops versus weak ops. How's it going to work out? And obviously, Train's going to be an interesting one if we do get to that 3rd and final map. Rez, again, he's been so solid today, especially against Abakachik in his opening frags. Rotations have come in towards CT spawn for MIBR, but they're going to need to make their move. Popsy looking to push into the site. There's going to be 1 man in pit, actually 2 men in pit. Lucas from range with the MP9 takes down Rez. 30 seconds left to go. Bomb is technically in sight, but not really able to be planted as finally Plopsky does go for it. MIBR taking their time.
Yeah, this is, again, a bit of a peculiar round. You've got 2 players still within the A side. Lucas and Fall are doing work with the MP9s. In fact, it's 3 MP9 kills have just come in versus the rifles of NiP. It's left onto Forrest to try and clutch. We didn't want to see him with an AWP, but instead he's got an SG, managing to find 2, but eventually going to be closed down. The 2nd round onto the board for MIBR, but another bomb plant and another, well, I should say set of kills coming in for NiP. We could be seeing another force buy off the back of them. And the interesting thing there is, did you actually notice what the buy was from MIBR? At the beginning of the round? Because
no, not in the beginning.
They had 1 AWP and 4 MP9s. Like, it worked, but like, I don't even think the AWP got a single kill. Like, I think KNG got owned straight away and then Fur managed to pick it up. Like, it was a really weird round again, like back-to-back ones. And now I'm interested to see whether or not there is going to be a purchase, and there is. Straight back in.
Oh. You hate to see it. Or you love to see it. Depends on what kind of fan you are.
I don't even think I'm that bitter. But I'm very bitter, but even I don't like to see stuff like that. It is quite nice to see that it's not just me who does that, though.
Yeah, but I think you do it more consistently than they do.
Oh, yeah, it's almost at this point like it's intentional.
Except if you intentionally try to do it, you'd probably throw it correctly for once. That's the downside. But again, NiP, they've gotten the initial frag. I think that's 3 rounds in a row they've been able to get the entry, but not been able to capitalize off the round from that. Look at this push in towards B. It's going to be very hard to defend against this. Going to be Fer all by himself. Does have the smoke to stall for some time for the rotations to come through, which is exactly what's going to happen. KNG is going to be coming in. The problem is they've been able to push through the smoke. Been able to block off Fer, who actually gets flashed in, pushes straight through, only takes down 1. Bomb going to be on the ground with 45 seconds left to go, and KNG. Oh, that was a little too close for comfort. So they have a person coming in from Banana. They have 1 from CT spawn, 1 from construction. NiP spread out in a similar fashion. Get-Right's going to need to hit this shot to alleviate some pressure as the 2 players are looking to push in towards construction at the exact same time. Get-Right gets the first couple of shots. Nate going to come in.
Oh, no.
Get-Right's out of here.
Oh, he was so low on HP. Still, though, the clock really has been ticking. Forrest's going to take 1 and 2. They needed a step up from him in this round, and he does it this time. It is going to be the break back. MIBR were struggling with economy already, and now we sit the first round on the board for the Ninjas. I think it was coming since the beginning one, really. They probably should have won the pistol. They definitely could have won the last round. Finally, they're off to the start we want.
I feel like something was said about this on the desk. About take the op out of Forrest's hands, let him be the playmaker he is, and you see there with the SG is able to do just that. Helps win the round for NiP in the first of the map. Hopefully first of many for their sake. And with the forces, the force-ups constantly out of both teams, MIBR don't really have much to spend, just some pistols and some armor. MP9 for Taco. You know, I was really wondering after the first match what NiP would show up against MIBR. I mean, we obviously talked about, you know, for instance, Mouse Sports playing against E-Rival, and E-Rival just kind of showed up out of nowhere. Talk about playing up versus playing, you know, equal. And I think we're going to see NiP and MIBR obviously play against each other as equals. And I wonder how it's going to affect the rest of the game. We've seen people been able to punch up so far in this tournament. But still with the man advantage, NiP are going to be sitting back, not really trying to rush into anything just yet. Again, letting Lecro do his work. Get-Right finally pushing in towards the site. The bomb is still technically down back towards T-mid, so it's not like they're going to plant even if they take control of this side. They're just looking for frags here, looking to really punish MIBR and silence them. Oh my god.
They really love these MP9s. It is worth mentioning that we saw a great performance from Fallen on this map yesterday, but this was the one map where Fer pretty much was non-existent. He got 14 kills on Inferno, 29 on both Train and Mirage. So maybe expect to see a little bit more from him coming up in the next couple of maps. He got Dust 2 as well in there, but Train is one of them. However, he was the main sort of pinnacle player. Like, we didn't really see too much from everyone else. Like, okay, there were a map or two where, okay, Fallen was playing fairly well, but then he fell off in the next one, and you could say the same for KNG. There wasn't really anyone consistent other than the other 2 maps from Fer. We'll see. Maybe he can get off to a better start in this.
We talked about Fallen on this map. He was hitting some ridiculous ops.
Yeah.
He was hitting so many great shots.
And it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
And that was versus the Hungarian side. So you have to feel like if they can capitalize, you have to hope that the Ninjas can capitalize. Even still, Taco doing a little bit more work. I'm pretty sure he's already close to the tally he was getting on this map.
Didn't he end with like 5 at the end of the first half on this map, I feel like?
He got 5 the whole map.
The whole map, okay, well, you know. Try to give him the benefit of the doubt there, but...
Yeah, no, well, like I said, I don't think it was the best day for Taco. He already has 6 now. That's not bad when we're going into round 5, so... As I said, I think he just had an off day. This round, he's got to try and be the hero, as it's singular flashbang for Fallen. They've got the crossfire in middle. They've left Taco alone as the B defender, and he is going to kick things off with an opening pick. flashbang over the top does leave Forest blind. They're going to try and close him down, and they will. KNG keeps the man advantage going. Oh, chance for Fer, but he's not going to hit the shots. And actually, Rez is going to execute him. Leaves a couple of players on this side. Taco going strong. He's found another kill. If the other players can even just trade 2 for 1, that would give him a chance in the clutch. The bomb has to go back and be retrieved, and Rez is still left lurking around the side of the B site. Oh, sorry, the A site, but there isn't going to be any weapons there. So as said, they kind of need to at least get a kill between them here.
Well, we saw how good Fallen was with the USP yesterday on Mirage. Quite a few kills with it, especially in a couple of the rounds. I think the biggest one I saw was 3 in a row. Trying to clear all these angles. Fallen not going to have a chance here. And neither will KNG as Lekro just hops up over the wall. Now Taco, who's been able to take 2 kills in this round, looking for more, looking to save the round for MIBR. But NiP's going to have his number, and Rez, you know, he might only be 6-3, but he's been really consistent so far. He's been able to get quite a few. I think he's won most of his opening duels, if I'm not mistaken. And he's just been putting up some decent numbers, at least in this matchup alone. He's currently 2-0 in opening duels before this round did end.
No. Taco still made things very costly for them. 2 players dropped for him, 1 for KNG, and with only a couple surviving, we now see the buy come back in. Now KNG's yet to really do much with that AWP. The boost will be thrown up to give an elevated angle for Lucas. As said in the past, like, watching him play this map with his brother was quite entertaining, but obviously they have the synergy of years and years of playing together.
Well, they have the synergy of telepathy. I mean, that's...
That too. It does help if you can literally read your twin's mind. Ooh. We're definitely not twins.
No, we're twins as in like Dan DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, I could see that one. I'm Arnie though, right?
Yeah, of course.
They've left just 1 player over onto B side though. Not a whole lot of utility to be expended either. A lot of reliance on Fer as the other 3 are so far dedicated in towards short. And the push is now going to begin. There really isn't anything to help out Fer. He has to do this all alone. Finally, we see the rotation starting to come back, and he has bought some time, but he's almost lost his life in the process. 29 seconds, or 29 HP, sorry, but about the right time as well. KNG will at least be able to find one from the corner. Fer's still in the site. They haven't got rid of him yet. He's just been hiding here the whole time. The flashbang's good, but he can't quite get a kill, and Forest and Lekro combine to clear out the majority, leaving just Lucas. Okay, there's a few low players, but I can't really expect much from him here, and he won't even be able to close out Get Right. 4-2. The early rounds at least just about going the way of MIBR, but since then it's been all NiP.
And more importantly, it's 4 straight for NiP. Money's hurting on Made in Brazil's side, so we could potentially see a 5-2 if things continue this kind of path. And more importantly, I think we're seeing Forest get comfortable. You know, on train, like they were saying on the desk, Kazop didn't really provide too much necessarily. He did get a couple of kills with it here or there, but he's looking way more deadly now with the AK or the SG in hand. And when he gets comfortable, you got Rez playing comfortably. Lekro's hitting some good shots. Get Right hasn't really needed to do too much. Still even has 6 kills either way. Pushing in with the nades and the shots. Wow, somehow MIBR actually do return too. One of those actually going to be over towards apartments. Taco's going to recover an SG. Again, bomb still down towards T stairs. Fer going to be by himself to defend the B site. 1v2 with just a deagle, and unfortunately that first shot's not going to connect.
Yeah, I think in reality this has to be just MIBR looking to try and retrieve some weaponry and save it. Lucas doesn't have anything just yet, so he can be a little bit more aggressive and will be punished for it. And now Taco just going to look to try and bring this into the next round. We talk about the SG and how powerful it can be on the CT side. Yet to really see too much from the heavy hitters of yesterday. As said, this map just didn't seem to work out for Fur. And they do seem to be putting him in a sort of the positions that I wouldn't say you want Fur. Like, I would want to see Fur playing around in apartments. Like, I just feel like the game style he has, where it has the possibility to get aggressive. There's a lot of tight angles. He can sort of use that to advantage. Instead, it's just him trying to hold on the B site on his own and getting overwhelmed. Like, it just doesn't seem to work.
Yeah, it's not like he's even being given an opportunity in the B site to do anything to hold on. He's being left to himself, and then they rotate someone in when they think NiP are going that direction. And what are you going to do? 1v2, 1v3? 1vx in these situations, and that's why I think we're seeing him be only on 1 kill. But at the same time, we haven't seen any real buys out of MIBR because of how scrappy these rounds have been. The first two, obviously the buy-ups coming out of NiP, then losing that third round, it put MIBR on the back foot. We're now finally starting to see the double op setup for them with Fallen and KNG, and this is where it comes down for NiP to really show what they've got. They have to be able to handle this. They have to have some sort of response to the double op setup, and what is it going to be? We've seen KNG actually be boosted up for shots down middle just yesterday. I'm not going to be going for that just yet in this match. And Rez has actually gotten extremely far up apartments. I don't think he's actually been spotted out. He can walk right out directly into a target. He's actually... I thought he was going to take down his opponent, but somehow Lucas actually gets the better of him. Taco survives with 7 health. And NiP are down to 3 players. That should have been a kill. That's unfortunate.
100%. That was messy. We do have a little bit more aggression onto Banana now, but it's still going to be this push in the direction of the A site. A lot of time left for NiP to play with. They don't necessarily have to dedicate themselves to this side, but KNG, a missed shot once again. It's just going to be Taco cowering in the corner. He's got such low health. Jumping in. How does he win that battle? Forrest just missing the shot. Finally, Get Right's there to do the deed. But they've given a lot of time for the rotation. Molotov will go down. They should have a rough idea, especially now, of where Plopsky's going to be through the smoke. That's like what we like to see from Fur, an aggressive peek out. Now it's Get Right in the clutch. He has had a pretty good day today. He was one of the top fraggers in the first map. He's looking to wrap round behind them while they line up their smokes. He's got a good opportunity to do it as well. They have absolutely no idea, and the clock ticking down to just 15 seconds. They don't have a kit. If he can even drop one of these players, I think that's enough. As Fallen is facing the wrong direction and dunks him out as well. A great round from Get Right. He's been fantastic so far today. Top of the board, top of the server. And wow.
Top of our hearts.
Okay. I thought of something like that, but I was like, nah, that's really cringy.
That's why I'm here.
Cringe cat plan. That's what needs to be typed in the chat.
Cringeland?
Cringeland works.
But Taco, that shot you're talking about with Forrest jumping over like that should almost never have worked. He was down to 7 HP from the spray from earlier on from apartments. But luckily, Get Right, the clutch master's still here. Redeems himself from that first round of the 1v3 in the pistol. That nade. Oh my god, those nades. I don't even know how
he's alive.
He's down to 8 HP.
Riddled with shrapnel.
Yeah, how's he moving? Oh, Get Right again. 11 and 6 for this man. NiP are showing up on Inferno. He gets a second as well into Fur. Again, against pistols. But still, Get Right is starting to hit some shots, and he's getting comfortable. Force was looking good. Everyone on NiP is playing to a very strong level. But 7 rounds on Inferno is going to be... It's going to be really tough the way we've been seeing things go. And you talked about Fur, right? You wanted to see him be put in more aggressive positions. He only has 2 kills, unfortunately. Fallen only on 3. They had set a very heavy investment into the double up setup in 2 rounds prior, and that didn't work out for them. My question is, will they go for it again?
Yeah, they will. Well, Fallen bought one straight away. Like, there wasn't even a hesitation. The fact is, he hasn't really been tested when he's had the AWP. Like, they actually had a fairly interesting setup in the round where NiP just pretty much dedicated themselves straight into that A site, where they had 2 players around sandbags. Like, it was basically Fallen with contact, and then Fur was tucked into the sandbags. Now, that's obviously not been seen yet by anyone other than us who can see the map. So that could be something interesting to see into the next round if they are going to fight in that direction. I always like the idea of using Fur as like someone sneaky in the corner, because he is the perfect player to use that for. Like, hyper aggressive and loves to catch people. But we'll see. Oh, it's going to be on both the players we want to see it on. Forest actually is going to be picking up the other one, so we'll see if he can have the impact at least his team hope for. Fallen not going to be able to connect the shot. Given a chance, and that was one of the only real good things that came out of their Inferno yesterday, was that he was playing well. So if he's not playing well, I don't think they have much left.
Soho in such an aggressive position. One flashbang can completely catch him off guard. Further to support with the AUG. Flashes, Molotovs, smoke's being thrown in. Fallon's gonna need to hit these shots, and there we go. That's the Fallen we wanted to see. Fortunately, that's not the Fallen we want to see thereafter as he misses the second shot.
And he's gone.
Nade comes back in, and that's, I think, our third nade kill of this map so far. The Kobes are strong in NiP, and so are the rounds. Bomb planted. Smoke dissipating in just a few seconds. No real utility except a flash and a Molotov left for NiP. And Force is beginning an opportunity to hit some shots. There we go. KNG goes down. They lost the double up setup. And Lucas looking to push into construction with 17 seconds left. I really feel like it's almost done. And somehow Lucas catches out Get Right. Makes it expensive for the T side, but the round will still go NiP's way. This is getting scary.
Yeah, they're probably going to die to the bomb. They'll get right into the corner, which means they might survive, and we'll never know.
So, I mean, I think it was...
I think there were 2 players, and I think Rez survived.
Okay. Well, I think it was Pimp who said on the desk earlier on, there was a post over on Reddit from a tweet that was... I think MIBR were 2-16, if I'm not mistaken, on Inferno. Sounds about right. And unfortunately, it might be 2-17 at the end of this. NiP are making some very quick work of the Brazilians. See, why can't NiP just play like this all the time, you know? In Brazil, not really any money to spend, just getting the pistol, some armor. Double up setups. I mean, at what point do you just say, all right, well, we should just stop trying? It's too much of a monetary investment. We're not accomplishing anything with it. Unfortunately, Fallen's not been able to hit any shots towards Banana with it. I don't think KNG's really challenged middle with this weapon either. I think up against the Hungarians in Gamer Zone, they actually boosted him up for a shot. He was relatively successful then.
This is going to be the round they'll steal away. This would be classic. They invest all that money into AWPs, and then the round they don't have them is where they're looking like they might actually be able to take this. Here we go, though. Fallen on the back of the site. It's actually going to be far. He sneaks through the smoke. This time his aggression pays off and just burning. Fallen will cook the majority of Forest and then pop his head at the end. It is going to be a third round for MIBR, a big bolster to their economy. T still have the cash, though. They have won quite a few in a row. 8, in fact. For anybody who...
can't count?
Yeah, well, not even that. Like, they have 8, and there's a streak of rounds you can kind of guess.
So you can read?
No.
Okay. That makes sense why you were touching the screen to read it in Braille. I understand now. It's those new monitors that can warp KNG. There we go. That's what we wanted to see out of MIBR. Get the op in his hands. We see NiP trying to pick up the pace. Forces KNG to relocate. Fallon's come in to help out. They have 4 men towards the A site. Lekro's actually already in the site, funny enough. And just like that, they've gotten control of it, though they still have a couple players lurking around. KNG trying to come around the corner. He's in the smoke to his advantage, but Plopsky again. It's going to be his second kill in the round. And NiP get another after-plant situation.
Yeah, back into a 2v2. Taco definitely having a better performance today, but can he do anything to get back into this site? Has Fur to help him. Molotov not going to clear out either of these players, but may skew the vision of Lekro. He's just trying to tap on the headshot angle. Neither player able to connect, and it's Fur to get the kill, but Lekro's still standing, trying to get back up onto the box. Spraying through the edge of the smoke, and the time just ticking away. Fur, he does have a kit, but there's only a few seconds left. Lekro, all he has to do is survive, and Fur knows it. He'll be running for the hills with that AWP. Both players should be able to get away, and they will.
So my question is, for you, Tom. So NiP, yeah, they're up 9-3. But MIBR have shown in recent times that Inferno just does not seem to be their map. Is this just NiP outplaying them on the map? Or is this NiP outskilling them? Do you think if NiP go over to Dust 2, we'd see a similar result?
No. I think it should be much better from MIBR. Like they lost to the Hungarian side yesterday. So it's not like realistically, if the Ninjas did lose this map, you'd be very worried because they have a terrible record on it. And it seems like that's one of the main problems. Of course, again, they've got a new player and then a player who's, again, not even been in the roster that much longer. So you expect there be some teething issues with certain maps within their pool, and this is obviously one of them, which is a shame because Inferno is a map that pretty much every team wants to be playing, or it's either a pick or one of the maps you see a third very
last
often.
map of the series. So
it's definitely not one that you want to have as like a problem within your pool, but it seems like it's one that they're willing to play. They've just got to, as I said, work on it.
Obviously, it takes time to get everyone up to par when it comes to the maps and how you want to play them. Following those, hitting some good shots, and this B push has been shut down. Again, they've actually, instead of leaving Fur by himself, they're committing Fallen to this position quite a bit more, which is actually allowing them, I feel like, a lot more control over the site. And they want Lekro, and there's really not much money for NiP's side, so if MIBR pick up this round, they could be looking at 5 total so far in this first half.
Yeah, they still have an opportunity. That's the thing, and I think going onto the T side, that's where you can sort of more play as a unit, I suppose. The problem is, if yesterday Fur's your best player and he's unable to really get anything going on this map, that is always going to be a problem. Like, he's the player that I feel like if he's doing well, he's the worst player to play against on this team, which is saying quite a lot. Because Fallen is, as I said, is best, one of the best AWPers. You could even say the KNG at the same sort of title. Like, he's fantastic with that AWP. But I genuinely believe that if you play against Fur when he's playing his very best Counter-Strike, it's impossible. Because he'll be everywhere on the map. You won't know where you're looking, you won't know where you're checking, and he'll be headshotting you every single time.
I really want to know if that shot out of Fallen was sped up, because that was insanely fast. I'm pretty sure it wasn't. He's hitting some decent shots now. It's just coming in. It seems like a little bit too late for them. 9-4 is not the scoreline you want to see on the CT side of Inferno. When you're the 4, not the 9.
Thanks for clarifying.
I know you would have said something if I didn't. Double up.
How's your Portuguese?
Obrigado. That's it.
Okay.
I mean, some Spanish and Portuguese does overlap, but so does KNG's bullet and Lekro's head.
Yeah. And a bit like my Portuguese, it is painful. There we go, though. Lots of utility going down to claim Banana. And we'll take it completely under their control. Of course, it is only a few pistols in this round, so can't really expect too much from the Swedes. I'm still going to be trying to make it work with the D. Actually, GetRight's still going to be getting a kill. Even retrieves himself an AWP. Perez has found another one. This shouldn't be even remotely close. Let's see if GetRight can do anything with the AWP. Definitely not a weapon he's renowned for. Yeah.
MIBR back on the grind, up to 5. Yeah, KNG's hitting some really quick shots. Right on 13 kills.
I think it's the jump cuts. I think that's why everything looks so fast. Yeah. It's because it's jumping straight from one kill into another. There we go, though. 9-5. T's have got themselves a purchase back in. Again, we're going to see this 3-man stack over to the top of Banana. Deep smoke's thrown in. Looks like NiP, or at least GetRight, wants to try and use some utility to try and regain some control here. Lucas does so much damage through the smoke that GetRight's left with only 4 HP. They're actually going to leave Fallen here alone, leave the in-game leader with the responsibility of looking after Banana. But in the meantime, it might be the right call because the T's are heading back towards A.
Not really much utility left, though, on the side of MIBR. With so much time left. Do have 3 smokes out of Fallen, KNG, and Taco. It's going to be Fallen to solo hold towards B, so able to have 2 smokes towards this A site. And 1 incendiary out of KNG to help stall the push or prevent some sort of plant. I think Fallen, yeah, he definitely just caught the cross on the get right. And NiP just waiting for that moment to strike, and that moment's got to be coming very soon. 30 seconds left and counting. KNG can be sat tucked away and Pick gets flashed up. Taco gets overrun on the balcony. They know exactly where KNG is going to be. The problem is he's not peeking him, and eventually you get the 1-for-1 trade. So perfectly done by NiP, leaving Fur and Fallen the last 2 alive. And with the bomb down.
Gonna tag hit straight away. How does Fur get away with that? Forrest unable to hit the shots, and look how low the last few players are. There's a chance here for MIBR. There shouldn't have been in the 4 versus 2. Fallen locked out, at least for now. They do have kits, but even still, the time is ticking. Fur rounds the corner, but even his pre-fire isn't enough. And now they know exactly where Fallen is, slowly whittling away at his HP. Just smidgens left for him to survive in that corner, and it doesn't even matter. The clock has ticked, and it will be a 10-5 half for the Ninjas. A strong performance from them, slipping a little bit towards the end of the half, but still taking it in a dominant fashion.
I mean, considering how that match started with that pistol round shenanigans of, hey, let's just rush down middle, and you saw NiP, I don't know if they predicted it or saw it, because they completely backed away. They were nowhere near the vicinity to actually even challenge out towards that middle control, and yet they still almost won the round. It came down to get right, the 1v3. But again, the refrag just on point for NiP, and like I said, Fur should not be winning that exchange. And yet he did, and again, we see the power of the Brazilians. 14 kills for KNG, 13 for Taco, 6 for Fallen. The other side of the coin, everyone generally the same. 13-9 is the split. And now we move on to the CT side for NiP, who only needs 6 rounds to close out this map. Winner of this match, we should also mention, goes straight through to the semifinals.
Yeah.
So you get an extra day off. Extra day to prepare, extra day to rest, if you're us. And also, a nice little bump in your prize money. Look at this, the push coming directly in towards CT spawn, Tom.
Yeah, the wraparound straight towards Arch. This is almost going to leave like a 4-man defense. There's actually only 1 man on A, but MIBR want to take the hard way, as they're going to wrap back around in towards Plopsky, ready and waiting for their push. They're trying to hold this from Banana, but oh, everyone's run out of bullets. Oh, this is happening again. How does he get around the corner? How does he get a kill? Finally, they shut him down. Another round where you just have to think, like, come on, please, somebody just finish it. 6th round, and another pistol for MIBR.
They did take the pistol round in the first half, though, so not really a deciding factor in how this match is going to go, but it definitely helps them get back into it. Lucas with some great shots at the end there. And it looks like NiP going to be going for the buy-up. They have the armor, they have the pistols, they have a kit on Lekro. A good amount of utility to spend 5 smokes to help delay as long as possible, but enough those smokes will be able to come down in time. If MIBR keep up this pace, eventually the flashbangs come through and they do halt. And Fur leading the charge, leading the pack, trying to pounce in on this B side. They're setting up some Molotovs. They do have a 3rd player for NiP to rotate back around. It's going to be Forrest who's going to be in the vicinity to help if the push comes, and as we can see, it's going to be happening. That's unfortunate.
Combines with push through the smoke from Get Right is somewhat of a last-ditch effort and leaves just the pistols remaining. Try and do a little bit of damage. They may even just want to save them. They've got some smokes to play with. Well, now 1 less. Nice work from Fur. It would be a worry for the Ninjas if he does start coming into his own. As I said, he was very quiet on Inferno yesterday, and then in the next 2 maps dropped 29 in each. Was definitely one of the deciding factors from MIBR, and it has been the standout player for them so far this tournament. Not that that's very much as one best of 3, but
yeah,
even still,
and
it sounds better if you say throughout this tournament rather than in one match. So
that's true.
All 5 survive for MIBR, so money made. Couple of pistols saved. Lekr with the deagle is always something enjoyable. But it definitely does seem like since that in-game leader role has been placed on his shoulders, his individual level has dropped.
I mean, typically that happens, right?
Yeah, no, it's not like... It's not
like it's a surprise.
Blaming him.
Yeah.
It's more just like, why? Like, because he is someone who I think can be like part of that next wave in Sweden. Like, he's still young within the scene, so I don't know.
We have to also, I guess, keep in mind that you don't want to overwhelm someone having to play on the level that he's playing, forcing the in-game lead as well.
Ooh.
There we go. Lekr, speaking of the man, able to get a shot onto Fur. Unfortunately, Rez has gone down as there's a 4-man stack. 3 4-man stack towards the B site. But it actually might play into NiP's hands. We can see in terms of utility, not left to use for MIBR, and Force is gonna have a smoke, so he's potentially here to help stall for time if he can get the smoke down. And he's still holding it.
Looking to try and find the angle, does connect the shot, but it's Lucas once again. Still another player that they have to clear, and Fallen does that comfortably. Leaving Lekr and Plopsky. They should know that there's a Mac 10 after Get Right goes down, so may not want to give extra money into the hands of Fallen, especially. Eventually, he is going to be closed out. Can kind of expect Lekr to maybe just save what he has. He's picked up an HE, got a kit, got Kevlar as well. Hoping to maybe do a little bit of extra damage, but it's not really worth it. He's facing off against the Mac 10 as well. If that gets dropped, I don't think Fallen's going to care.
And instead of actually giving them any chance for more money, he just backs away completely. There we go, Lekr gonna survive the round. But MIBR on the charge, more importantly, taking the first 3 rounds of the second half. 2 rounds away from closing things out to tying up NiP at 10 apiece. And Fallen, I would imagine, it's gonna upgrade the Mac 10 unless he wants to play fast and loose. But he's gonna be up against the M4. There's R3 players without head armor, so potentially could make this work. Let's go, kicking off the next round. Where is actually gonna head, Fallen? Maybe he's actually over towards mid at the moment. We haven't seen much aggressive mid control out of NiP so far. They have 3 players that are early, but they don't actually push a player down towards the bottom of it, like we see out of a lot of other teams.
I'd like to see an apps play come out from MIBR. Like, drop the smoke down onto the balcony and then try and just jump through it. Instead, they're going to go running out mid. The timing could work for Rez. He manages one, but doesn't get greedy. Fades away and can't be traded. Fur has managed to wrap his way around the arch side in towards CT. It does seem like, yeah, Get Right is checking for it, for sure. But it's who wins that duel. And they're both looking for each other. Fur's going to take the fight, and now there's a bit of a question mark around not only Forest, but the players on B. Forest will get the kill, and he knows that Fur's going to be coming in from behind, and he wins that battle as well. Another double for Forest, and Taco desperately searching, given a shot, but in fact gives himself away. And he needs to get out of there. He's the one with the bomb. Lucas is trying to make a play in towards this B site. Seems like Plopsky is just set up in a retake scenario. Doesn't want to give this round away just by allowing a 2 versus 3, and instead Lucas tries to peek in, and that's as easy as you like. And now Taco, well, he's going to try and push in towards this side. You can almost expect from Plopsky's position that that might have meant there's 2 there, like 1 on the outskirts, 1 on the site. Instead, so you go, okay, 2 players on A, 2 players on B, I'll go A. Instead, there was 3.
In the end, it didn't matter if even as long as there was just 1 since he lost out in the duel. But yeah, you're definitely right. I was actually wondering about that, why they didn't rotate a player towards B to stop a plant from going down, even if they lost the 1v1. But hey, it works out in the end. NiP get on the board in the second half after letting 3 slip by. No op being secured for NiP in this round. And MIBR are going to have their own in the hands of KNG. And again, look at this. 4 players towards this B site immediately. I wonder if they will gain that control down towards the bottom banana, but a lot of utility being thrown in from both teams. I think it was not to saying earlier on about the meta of Inferno and banana, how it's always changing. Figuring out better spots to throw smokes where Molotovs are going to be thrown, and actually a player's been able to push straight through. They're going to peek around the corner into this, and it's actually going to be in favor of Get Right. Gets that first kill, Fauna able to exchange. NiP back away just like in the last round after taking the man advantage.
Yeah, no real reason to continue to fight that one. They've already come out on top. T-side also expended a lot of utility early into this round, so sure, they have a few smokes left for an execution, but they can't Molotov anything off. So you see the guys from the B side just sat right at the back, and clearing them out is going to be so difficult. Like, with one person in the back, we saw Fur in the last half, just sat at the back of the site, and it took ages to clear him out. With 2 players there, one of them boosted, I don't know how MIBR are actually going to get past this defense. I think it would just have to be based off maybe a few shots being missed. But here we go. Plopsky ready and waiting. They looked around the corner. Fur has managed to find a kill. Get Right. It's just a trade, but now Rez is even in play as well. And they haven't even seen Plopsky yet. That's just even worse. Well, no surprise, just going to try and hold on to his gun.
Well, the advantage they did have, at least for MIBR, was utility. I mean, we saw Plopsky and Get Right with nothing to use. No smokes, no flashes, nothing to delay, nothing to help out each other. It was just coming down to these angles. Yeah, MIBR wasn't able to really hit those shots. You can see Get Right getting a little ambitious there. Over ambitious, trying to go for the fist bump before they were done playing out the round.
I'm not going to take my hat off my mouth. I'm still alive.
It reminds me almost of there was a CS event done in Krefeld in Germany, and I believe it was Crystal playing or he was coaching. I think he was playing, and his coach, as he was defusing, like celebrated because they were like going to win the map, and like shook his chair or something, or shook him, and it took his hand off the keyboard, and he missed the defuse, and they lost the round because of it.
Ooh.
So respecting it, you know, don't mess with anyone. Let him finish out the round. I think they actually came back to win anyways, but still, that's a yikes.
Yeah, no, that's as bad as it gets. That's a lot of utility damage already done. They haven't even seen anyone yet. KNG on 7 HP, Taco down to 38. Even Lucas has taken a nick. Well, only 35 seconds gone on the clock. Still just sat in a default waiting for a level of aggression from the Ninjas in Pajamas, but other than Rez, they're all sitting fairly passive. Like, they're peeking into the angles. Forrest is back on the AWP around the arch side. They're not really being challenged at all. And again, by the looks of it, we are going to see the build into some sort of A-tank. I said a couple of rounds ago, I'd like to see them try and utilize apartments a little bit more. It was Taco peeking in, but that was once it was, what, a 2v4 or something? And the round was pretty much done. Let's try and see if they can isolate out Rez. And not an easy task, but if they can gain quite a bit of control.
Well, the jumps come in, and like I said, they do sacrifice one, but they trade one for one more importantly. But can they dislodge Electro in sight? Backup not necessarily there just yet. The smoke's gonna be blocked off. Electro's just trying to stall for time, trying to get a kill if he can, and will at least get the assist with the help of Plopsky. Even Get Right flanking in from behind. He gets the 1v1 against Taco, and that opens up Boiler Room, and now it's gonna be so hard for MIBR to maintain.
Just trying to defend off the site. Forrest already picks one out, and Fallen's good, but he's not that good. No way he gets away with that round. A great retake and a decent hold in the end. I think the worry there is that if Lecro goes down quick enough, they probably win that round. Like, I don't think they have so many problems with holding onto the side, but just Lecro survives a lot longer in that corner than you'd expect and allows enough time for Plopsky to rotate around. But I do think there's some value in those apps plays, especially when they're on a weaker buy, because they did manage to isolate Rez fairly easily, and then, what, from that position, there was actually only one man on the site. It's just that, yeah, look, it took a while to kill him off. I think also NiP did have a bit of a gamble stack as well. I think they had 2 players around Arch, so they were actually fairly quick.
They were
with
rotating
the rotation.
back from B because they'd get right pushed up a little bit, watching the angle. MIBR talking some things over. 13-8. I love how they never look discouraged. I always look like when I see them play, their facial expression shows that they feel like they can still win the game. And that's obviously a very good mentality to have when you're playing at this kind of level. But I feel like they're one of the teams that really show it. So 13-8. Investment out of MIBR in this round. Oh, Rez is gonna get one. He's gonna clear back towards bridge. Fallen's gonna be able to capitalize off of that. Should be able to recover the weapon as well. It's gonna be in the hands of Lucas, and Leckers just got to back away after losing that player.
Yeah, they actually have Kevlar on every single one of the players, so there's still a possibility to juggle that rifle around and potentially do some damage with it. They are going to be making a play in towards this A side. They find a kill here early, but what they don't realize is there's still 3 defenders. Forest with the AWP. Nice shot from Lekro to transition, but it's still Forest just going ham, and okay, that one wasn't so nice, but even still, it is just going to be the trade. 14-8. Still, the problems of MIBR and Inferno continue, and this could be their last-ditch effort, at least with money in their hands.
Forward showing he can still hit some shots, and then showing he can still miss some shots at the end. Kind of a roller coaster of AWP play out of that. And a lot of utility that both teams being used towards Banana. You can just hear the spam coming through. Get right as just boosting Forrest up. Fortunately, pays that ultimate price. Popsky's able to respond, and we talked about hitting that A site before. We talked about Lekro, who was tucked in on the box, and it took them so long to dislodge him that it might have cost them the round. This time they do have 2 Molotovs if they want to push in towards a safe site. Or previously, I don't believe they had any. There's one going to be out of their hands now. Forrest holding the angle from Arch with Op. And they're still leaving Popsky by himself over towards the B site. So again, another heavy commitment towards the A site out of NiP.
Ooh. Nice shot from Forrest, and it seems like the T's are so worried about aggression coming down from Banana that they're just holding. They're a man down, 55 seconds left. Utility, it's just 2 smokes, and it's not really enough. I guess one of them, has to go to allow them to cross towards this pit area. Support is there, but Rez goes down and Fallen with 2 quick kills. He turns this round on its head. Forrest and Plopsky so far away. You have to wonder if this is really worth the fight. It's still firmly within the lead. Something that's worth noting as well, that MIBR are struggling even with both pistol wins under their belt. Like, it's not really an impressive display when you win both pistols and are pretty much confidently losing, I'd say. Like, it's not like this has been a particularly close match so far. Like, NiP have been in the driver's seat for the majority. Forrest just looking to try and save. Nice shot to kill off Fair as well, making things even more costly for the T-side. They didn't really have the money to burn there. I heard the word Molotov.
Ó, galera, presta atenção. Apesar de ser pra base entrada, pra finalizar até um mesmo, tá? Como os 2 caras passam aqui, não precisa. Quem vai smocar Fonax? Quem vai smocar?
Can you translate the rest? I've done the hard part.
You've done the hard part. Let me get out my Portuguese to English book real quick. And it says, I don't understand any of this.
Ah. Wait, that's a weird thing to say to your teammates.
14-9, MIBR on the back foot. Not only in rounds, but in money. Throwing everything into this round, but so is NiP. You can see pretty much expending all the resources they have in their own banks. Still not 100% sure how I feel about Force and the AWP, even on the CT side. Had so much success on the T side with the SG and the AK.
I think it does prove that like Forrest can use any weapon. It's just, would he be doing more with a different one? Nonetheless, it's been working so far, so I don't think there's really any need to criticize or change. They are still 5 rounds to the good. Are they about to try and burst this smoke? Oh, do it. Do it. Bank it off the wall a little bit. It's frozen in time.
Yeah, I thought the game froze, actually, for some reason. I thought the server was down.
They didn't really do too much. Plopsky's here, but he's going to have to fall into the corner. They tried to wrap around onto Get Right, and they're going to catch him. Plopsky's going to need to pull off a miracle here, and while there isn't one to be had, Fallen even trying to help him out with a shot into his teammate's head, but that's going to be the round over. It has to be the save called from NiP, and well, decent timing on that push. I like the fact that they straight away look to wrap around to get him behind the remaining CT player. Like Plopsky, the second they do that to Get Right, he was dead. Like the chances of him getting out of that position alive are 1,000,000 to 1.
Yeah, this as well. Fur looking for a chase. So is KNG. Trying to take these weapons out of their hands. They have an AK and an M4 and an AWP. Would be perfect for MIBR if they can do so, but unfortunately it's just costing them their own weapons.
Yeah, they don't have that much money. Like, I get that you can pretty much afford to lose one, maybe, but, like, you're not, like, sat there with cash to burn. Like, a couple of rebuys is going to be enough to at least keep them on the edge. Sure, there'll probably still be enough, like, an extra buy in the next round, but no, you've still got, like, you got KNG down to $300, Taco down to 50, Farron 1,600, and then the other two, sure, they can buy. But the more rounds you win as well, the more you lower your loss bonus, so we'll have to wait and see. Get Right is not moving. Okay. See, normally if this was online play, I'd put that down to him having to quickly go and grab his food delivery, like maybe his pizza's turned up. But,
you know, see, I like how we both think different things. You think food, I think bathroom break.
Is that what's on your mind now?
No. Is that what's on your mind right now?
To be fair, it does seem like you have the bladder of a 92-year-old man.
Just drink a lot of water, all right? This is my second bottle.
Okay.
Well, 1 minute left to go in counting in MIBR in the driver's seat. I like how they realized they were giving up so much control at Banana. I mean, we saw in, I think it was like 3-4 rounds ago when they were pushing towards A, you could see that they were still cautious of a potential play from behind. Because I think for 2 or 3 rounds straight, they just gave up full control and head over in this A direction. But it looks like it might be a 3-2 split towards this B side, depending on if someone can get a pick over towards A. But look how passive on the mini-map that NiP are playing. Look at this, the Raps come in. I believe they're going to be heard by Get Right. But no one's moved just yet because we haven't seen any commitment anywhere. And unfortunately, it's not going to work out. It's up to Forrest. With the op in hand, sees him in towards CT spawn, not able to hit that flick. Micro's able to chime in. Forrest now with a lot of pressure, a lot to do, and well, no real chance to do it now as MIBR will get the bomb down. As in Lecro with weapons. They do have a kit on res, but it's gonna be such a hard retake, but they make it more possible with that kill on a KNG.
Yeah, that's an integral frag. That gives them a way back in. They still have a kit available. A single incendiary. Nice shot from Taco, though. May have just put this to bed. They now have a bit of a crossfire available. The Molotov's smart, and while Lecro tries something a little bit off the cuff. But it is going to be another round on the board for MIBR. Slowly starting to grind things back. Again, another close round. They're not really building any finances, but I don't think they're going to mind too much as long as they continue to string these rounds together. Even still, only 2 surviving in a round where there wasn't actually an investment. It was just the saved weaponry brought into the next round. Now we head back to the rifles once again. The kill distribution on NiP is actually quite impressive. Like, the top player, I think, has 19. The bottom is 15. So everybody is here for the ninjas. Nice work from KNG. You can't do that against him. He was doing that most of yesterday.
Yep. I love how instinctually he sees the smoke and he's like, okay, I'm gonna look up here.
What would I do?
Yeah. Well, first of all, are they as good as me? Okay. So then what would I do?
Two quick openers now for MIBR. That's it. Yep, Varus realizes it. The frustration starting to kick in. He knows that this has to be a save. And as it was mentioned previously on the desk, this is a map that MIBR have an awful record on at the moment. I think it was 2-14.
2-14, okay. Disgusting record.
Yeah, and like, bear in mind that that even includes losing to the Hungarian local team yesterday on this map, which, no offense to them, but we still expected MIBR to take that one, even if it is a map that even then they had a terrible record on. They're still meant to be a much better team. If they now bring this back versus NiP, I think that's going to tell a lot of truths about the place that the Swedes might still be in at this point in time. Nonetheless, we have seen a lot of comebacks, and CT Side will at least be able to keep their weaponry. That should enable them to get somewhat of a buy. The only thing is, it's sort of dropping either SMGs or a FAMAS or two, so they may even opt to do the same again, where, sure, okay, we'll drop a Deagle or two, but we'll ultimately just play with the 3 weapons and make sure that we have the fully bolstered buy. They seem pretty insistent on getting the AWP onto Forest. Also, we talk about this map and how valuable utility is. For them to just continuously purchase and weaken their buy, you'd have to ask a few questions, but they could force this one. They could, as I said, drop an SMG, drop an extra FAMAS, and then still have a decent amount of utility. It's just whether or not they want to risk it, or if they want to make sure they get everything they desire in the next round.
So on that note, by the way, about the 2-14, that is right, but it's not the last 3 months, the last 6 months.
Oh, okay.
With the varying rosters, that's not a great sign, but you know, one thing that does give some light into the team of MIBR, I think Fer did an interview with HLTV recently, actually probably here, and she says there's a lot of pressure on KNG because people think he's the savior of the team, but with time, he'll destroy everyone. And we're already starting to see a little bit of it. There's a couple of hints here or there, like that shot over the smoke onto Forest, kind of reading into the way NiP we're going to play that. And we've seen like some great moments out of him. It just hasn't been strung together just yet. Obviously, like you said before, some growing pains within the team. It's going to take a little bit of time before he does adjust to the way that Fallen wants to have the team go.
I will say the wording of that is quite interesting, though, because it's like, people say he's the savior of the team. Eventually, he'll destroy everyone. So that sort of implies that he is then. Like, the way it was worded made it sound like he wanted to disagree, but if anything, he's agreeing. Like, he will eventually destroy everyone. You could have said we.
Maybe he's agreeing.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just the way that you read it sounds like he's not. Either way, Forest, get right. A deadly combo, and or at least one dead. Forest just sprays down. 4 kills for him. This was a round where they were just using the save weaponry, and yeah, let's not have Forest on an AWP anymore.
I mean, the thing is, like, I'm not saying he can't use the AWP, but it's like you get these explosive plays out of Forest, and when you have, you know, Get Right, who can be an emotional player, having them sitting next to each other and Forest pulling off a 4K like this can have Get Right be riled up, can help bring the emotions up of the team. Oh, KNG, we were just talking about him.
He has to destroy everyone. He needs the ace if he's going to be able to take this round away.
Except the time is only 20 seconds to work with.
Yeah, Rez only has a CZ. There's a chance he gets this duel, but no, that'll be the peek out from Plopsky now. Quick to react. Even an assist on that one. You have to wonder how close Forrest was to getting the ace then. If he did that much damage, probably about 23 HP off. Here we go. That's the 15th round. That's the breaker. These are the ones that can pick your team up out of the dirt, and it is so clean. And yeah, he does. I think he hits the dink onto KNG. Takes a wallbang to put him down.
See? That's what I'm saying.
Exactly what you were saying.
I don't know. I feel like Forrest can be just so much more explosive. And to me, the AWP, you know, bar maybe Stewie running up long A on Dust 2 and getting a 3K, you can't really be super explosive like Forrest can. Or like most players can with a rifle.
There we go, though.
And then he picks up the AWP and he gets the first kill on the phone.
Yeah, the thing is, though, I feel like he is very consistent with the AWP. It's just not as exciting.
It's just not a specialist with it.
Here we go, though. 4v4 ensues, a missed shot, and that will give the space for Fur.
Look at the bomb, though. Oh, man, if they... I was going to say, if they pushed down Banana in time, they could have stopped them from picking up the bomb. There was a chance that NiP might have been able to take the round, but they're going to be saving the weapons. Get Right and Plopsky together.
I do like the fact that although they've made the mistake, it seems like MIBR are just like really taking their time with this, because the amount of time you see someone just run down there with their knife out, just going, "Be right back, guys, just going to pick up the bomb," and then they get shot in the face. It's not what you want to be seeing. But,
and then they say, "Who the hell dropped the bomb in spawn?"
Yeah. Although this does give me slight anxiety just watching him run with the bomb and a knife out. But I think they've cleared the majority of these angles already, so nobody going to be there, of course. We can see.
I think NiP are just sitting there like, come on, plant the bomb already. Damn, get this round over with.
Are they hunting us down? Is that what's going on? Probably sat there just constantly looking over their shoulder like, are they coming? No. Okay, they just lost the bomb.
I mean, look at the finances of MIBR. No real reason to chase this down anyways. NiP are going to be able to buy in the next, so it doesn't really matter too much for them.
Yeah, it would. Obviously, if they could remove these weapons, it would severely damage the buy, because the two players with weapons just happen to be the two players who actually don't have the finances. At the same time, they should have a little bit of loss bonus just because it's been a few rounds for MIBR, even though there was one in between. Solely off the back of Forest as well. Taco is going to go for a little bit of a hunt. They do have some spare money. Oh, that's so valuable. That is so valuable. Massive amounts of damage done to the economy just based off that one man being dropped. They should still be able to afford a purchase anyway. But then you have to take into consideration, if they do win this next round, the battle for overtime will be with either pistols or SMGs.
We'll double up on the attacking side for MIBR. Forced again with one in his own hands. Not again, you compare like his style to maybe KNG. We saw KNG going for picks multiple times. He was more of a playmaker, I'd feel like, what we've seen at least over these last 2 days. Being boosted up over a smoke to look for a shot. Constantly looking for some sort of advantage he can take for his team. And for I think this is exactly what you want to see out of him. Getting aggressive, maybe getting confident, able to take away Boiler Room, and MIBR in no hurry to make this round happen.
Yeah. Forest has been able to get the pick with the AWP a fair few times, however, so MIBR do have to be fairly wary of that big green gun. Fur again, it's had a reasonable performance, but not anything crazy. Forest looking for that peak, and he's going to get it again. Another entry kill in another round. He got 4 kills, then the entry in the last round, and now another one here. This man is definitely performing to a high standard, which is always nice to see. The T's now making their way back towards, as they say, normally people fear that AWP. Instead, they're going to be pushing directly towards it. Forest, glass cannon at the moment, doesn't have anything behind it. The nades could do the damage, but saying that, it's not theirs that does the damage. Instead, it's the counter.
Nice smoke, though, with 20 seconds left. It cuts off the short push.
Yeah, they've only got 15 seconds now. They have to get their move on, and there's so much in their way. Trying to get out of the apartments. Tacos manages one. KNG actually gets another, and Lucas combines. The bomb is going to be planted with seconds to spare, and the rotation so far away. It's looking like another round for MIBR, and although you look at the HP on the other side and you think, you know what, there's a chance they could take it, the money's just not there for the Ninjas. They need to save these weapons. It isn't worth the risk, and we'll go in the distance, Jason. All 30 rounds.
Potentially more. Who knows? Could he be hitting overtime here? And that kind of worries me, considering MIBR are 2-14 on this map in the last 6 months. Then to win it and go into their choice of Dust 2.
Yeah, it's definitely a worry.
Oh, okay. Well, they lost one player, but they can buy up anyways.
Yeah, I think Lucas completely misjudged how much damage he was going to take in that corner. The other two players have more health than him and were running away. So, yeah, he just sort of got, nah, it's fine. Nah, it's fine. Okay, it's not fine.
That's just a nice shot. I'm still amazed they were just able to push to the smoke.
Yeah.
That NiP put down to block them, to delay them. But there was no one to play close proximity of it to actually punish them.
Well, I think all the entries were so clean. Even so, some of them were traded. Like Taco's initial kill just clears the pit, and that's pretty much the biggest threat with that smoke down. If you get the man out the pit, then you can sort of make moves towards that side, unless there's someone in graveyard, but there wasn't. So important and impactful kill from Taco. That said, he's having a much better performance than yesterday. Bear in mind that in the game they lost versus the Hungarian side, he had just 5 kills. He now has 21, so definitely having an off day yesterday. He seems to be back playing to at least a decent level today. 15-14. The buy from NiP is not ideal. The AWP no longer in play, and an MP9 for Electro. They do still have buckets of utility at least, and the majority of players at least with a rifle in hand, including Forest, which is something we have enjoyed seeing so far within this match.
Such massive investments of utility here. Get right, the flashbang coming through. Lucas is going to peek the perfect time. He takes down 2. Perez, who was trying to rotate back towards the A side, quickly having to head back towards B to help defend this. He's going to peek around the smoke. He gets the spray down. It's on to Lucas, but that's not going to be enough to pick up a kill. And I think the overtime might be coming true here. MIBR somehow able to pull this one back from a 10-5 scoreline.
Rez has still managed to do quite a lot of damage, though. He's taken down KNG. Well, he is dead now, however. A good peek from Fallen, an aggressive one at that. Letcro has to try and get into a closer proximity in that late Molotov and the late push from Fur. The lurk in the back, leaving Letcro with very little hope. Even going to take some damage from the flames, and the comeback is completed. 7 of the last 8 rounds on the T side taken from MIBR. I like that, the difference in character. It's like the screaming from Lucas and Fallen going, all right, we haven't won it yet. That was my translation, at least. It could have been something completely different.
It could have been, but you know what?
Disclaimer.
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
I want to put a disclaimer, because I don't know. It could have been bad Fallen. He could have been like, wait until we destroy them.
That's bad Fallen. Please wait until we destroy them.
No. But it's the way he said it. It's like...
Going to be heading into overtime. 3 rounds each side. First to 19 wins. Unless we have another overtime.
Yeah. 18 is safe. 19
is better.
Yeah, it's definitely better. Bigger is better, that's what they say. Just not in height.
I was about to say something.
Get right, though. He's going to kick things off. He has slowed down a bit. Had a great initial start to this match, but starting to fall back a little bit. 10 assists as well for Plumsky. We saw a lot from Letcro earlier in the day. I think it was 23 throughout the 2 maps that were played. And their first match versus the Polish side. That isn't Virtus Pro.
You can say it. Come on.
Nope. Plopsky going to be ready and waiting. Still in quite an aggressive position. He has to be careful peeking out. The flash is fantastic, though. Get right. Sets him up, and he knocks them all back down, leaving just Fur standing. 29 HP to his name. No bomb and no real chance. Damage isn't even really worth anything in this scenario, as it's 16 KMR3, and Letcro will make sure that even that's not an option. A great round. Plopsky, 3 kills.
I think one of those kills he didn't even mean to get. There's a player very far down banana back towards T mid, and he just indirectly killed him while spraying towards someone else.
That's how I get all of my kills in Counter-Strike.
The one you get?
I accidentally lean on my mouse, I knock it with my elbow, headshot someone through a wall. I'm like, that's how you did it.
I thought you would just say you kill a teammate on accident, and that's your kill.
Turn on my aim hack by accident and still die. That takes skill in itself.
Yeah, I feel like you must be really good to be that bad, you know?
Yeah. Here we go, though. Fur, he's been lurking around this position quite often. I don't know how much support Forest actually has. There is Rez close by, and he is completely zoned in. Get right again. Second round in a row, he's found the opener for his team. If he can do a similar sort of flashbang, I'm sure Plopsky will be very happy. There are still 3 players around Banana. It's only really Fur being left to his own devices. And it definitely seems like Rez has spotted something here, because Forrest has fallen back into a more passive position. I think the general idea in this round is to get Fur set up for the wraparound and then just head in towards that B site. There's only really Get Right to defend the actual site. I think he has Plopsky boosting him up at the moment, and he's going to be the only one with any vision.
Just that one player, Fur, who has been able to keep 3 players towards the A site, has done the deed as the push comes in towards the B site. Actually, it's just walking straight through, going to be playing in the smoke. Get Right gets the bomb now down. 25 seconds and counting for MIBR to get through, and Plopsky goes to the USPS. Gets one, Get Right gets the other, and NiP now 1 round away from having a flawless first half of overtime.
Yeah, Get Right having a good couple of rounds as well, stepping up when necessary. 3 kills in that one, 3 flash assists and a kill in the one before.
The spread still, you mentioned early on between NiP, it's still really good. 16 the lowest, 26 the highest. It's gonna be on the man you see on your screen there. Really well done by the entire team to step up. And to be fair, you look at the side of MIBR and it's relatively the same as well. 15,
yep.
I didn't catch the high one, but I believe it was KNG.
Again, we're going to have a lot of initial utility being expended by the CT side, but it seems like they've had enough of this battle of Banana. Instead, Fur's going to go running out, and he's just looking to take as much map control away from this CT side as he can. He catches Rez at the same time and leaves just 1 defender. Lecro, he is that man at the bottom of the scoreboard. As you said, not by much of a margin. Can he do anything to defend this site? His teammates being sectioned off. He has to perform a miracle. He's going to get himself 1. Manages to fall back into the pit. First, still just holding off any rotations. He's left completely blind. Should be dead and will be. KNG cooks him alongside Attaco. And it is going to be Get Right all alone.
1v4 is a tough ask for anyone. Unfortunately, not able to connect there. That's going to be MIBR taking 1 round on the T side of overtime. And I'm going to be swapping sides. NiP going to need all 3 to win. MIBR going to need all 3. Wait, did I do that correctly? No, I did that incorrectly.
NiP need 2
to win. Whew, and we're only halfway through the day. Good shot by Taka, by the way, redeeming himself from yesterday.
Yeah, no, he's had a much...
See some frustration out of Get Right there, too.
Yeah, like, obviously there was he missed the spray a bit in that one, but there was
1v4,
yeah, it's 1v4.
you know?
Like, you can't blame yourself for the way that round went. That was just Fur doing Fur things, like that, a hyper-aggressive push that was sort of a last-ditch effort from MIBR. Like, they were really struggling to do anything towards B, and that's where Get Right's domain has been. Now we get to see if they can do it on the T side. The utility battle surely going to take place once again. The smokes, the nades being expended, and
oh, Pops.
He got absolutely owned by those grenades. Does throw one back, and actually it does just as much damage onto multiple players, so all in all, just a small trade initially, but he now goes down. Fur delays his grenade. Fallen, given the opportunity, leg shot hit him to Get Right. No return just yet from NiP. A chance for MIBR to equalize things.
Considering how passive they're playing, they're not trying to give any entries to the side of NiP. Fallen probably going to take a quick shot and back away if they do continue to push in towards the B site. For waiting with the smoke to block them off, and time is going to be a major factor here. That smoke going to be so pivotal in preventing NiP from cleanly getting into the site. There we go, the shot comes in, the smoke as well, the Molotov on top of things, and Forrest has switched the opposite way to a teammate. Hasn't been able to accomplish too much, unfortunately, because Fur's going to be there to pick up 2. Lecro coming around the corner into Fur's crosshair. And MIBR probably going to be tying things up with Fallen getting the final kill. 17 apiece. MIBR is starting to look good. Starting to really show up in this map, considering the results of the last 6 months.
Which far again. Do you know what I think it is? It just takes him a certain amount of time within the first best of 3 to actually get going. So before, the Hungarian side just won quick enough that he was then activated in the second map. But instead, it's taken NiP so long to actually close this game that he's now activated the same time, but just earlier in the game. I've worked out, cracked the code.
The Fervinci code.
Jesus.
See, that's how I feel sometimes when you make bad puns. Glad I can invoke that kind of level of cringe.
I'd watch that film.
Rez with a nice shot in the KNG. Fallen response, however. Only one person defended. Fallen. I'm not gonna lie, he's been quiet on the op in this match on Inferno, but those were 2 amazing shots out of him.
Yeah, no financial restraints anymore, so they can bring it up as much as they want. If they can win all 3 rounds, as you stated, they can take themselves the series, or at least the map here and now. Lucas forced out, but it doesn't seem to matter. They've now got 2 players still within this pit, and NiP are yet to clear it, spamming through. It will be 1 kill, but Plopsky then burns and drops the bomb, and Taco's there as well. The lead taken, at least another overtime confirmed for MIBR. And all they need is 1 more round, and they've taken a map that I don't think anybody expected to go their way.
Yeah, you lose yesterday against Gamerzone, then you win today against NiP. How does that work out for you? 2 completely different caliber of teams.
Clearly, Gamerzone are better than NiP. That's what we worked out.
Yeah, the transitive property works, especially in Counter-Strike. Wait, no. It's not the transit. Anyways. 18-17.
Can they close it, Jason? That's the real question.
Right? That's going to be the question that's most likely to be answered in the next minute and 30 seconds. NiP have grouped up heavily towards an A site. MIBR, quite a few men towards Banana, pushing straight through, and well, that answer's going to come one way or another.
No, they can't. As by the looks of it, they're going to need a big play. It is funny to me that both teams, when they needed that last round to sort of take it to overtime, they did exactly the same thing. Like, they just threw Fur out in their last T half round. And now this time, they just rush out as a team. Molotov is going to force them off the site. Fallen. I think he actually clips a player there. He's trying to knife him through the smoke. Oh, my goodness. That's just pure BM. Like, there was no real value in that. Doesn't get to keep the money into the next OT, and Fur, he knows that this is going to another one. 18-18. Pimps walk back into the room. I'm sure he'll be right back out of there again. Oh, he actually is. It's perfect. But, yeah. Scoreline equalized once more. The analysts are getting a lot of exercise. The question is now, is it going to be the same sort of story? Because again, it's one of those scenarios, the same as the first map in the last series we saw from the Ninjas. Like, it was really messy, and they had themselves a lead that they threw away. But then when they closed it, they went into the next map, and they looked a lot more convincing.
It was 11-4. They were 11-1 on Train.
Yeah. And then in the next map, they looked fairly good.
Yeah, 12-3, ended up 16-3, so they cleaned it up. But this has been such a back-and-forward game, this entire map so far. It was a 10-5 scoreline in the first half for NiP on the CT side. Sorry, T side, actually.
Granted, the difference here, though, is that this is their map choice. Whereas in the last series, they were going into their map choice, so... a kind of different scenario. Okay, see you later. Lecro and Rez just combined to clear out the apartments and the A site. Fur is here. They had a 4-man defense, and it's down to just none. Lecro exploding into the server, leaving Gabriel to try and turn this. But yeah, okay. I'm surprised he even managed to get that one, to be honest. They know where he is. In fact, they even have a player in library to try and catch him. Like, you're going to need Woxic level sensitivity to hit all these angles at once. Then I think they're just playing with him. It looks like they're just doing a little ring around the rosy. And, okay, doesn't manage to at least pad the stats a little bit, but ultimately irrelevant.
I honestly thought, I think Lekr was trying to knife him.
Well, to be fair, Fallen did try to knife through the smoke in the last round, so. Great round from Lekr, and we haven't seen too many of those from him. Those are the sort of plays you really enjoy seeing, like entry fragging, aggression from Lekr with just wrecking them.
It's generally been Rez today, the one doing that. He did on Overpass quite a few times on the B side. He's done it a couple of times on Inferno too against MIBR.
I wonder if he called that. I'm gonna kill them all. That was just the call for the round.
Yeah, I mean obviously it was in Swedish, but
yeah,
totally agree.
Unfortunately, I don't know the phrase, I'm going to kill them all in Swedish. And if I did, I think you'd be quite worried. I don't think that's the sort of thing you ask a person when you're first learning a language.
Unless you're a serial killer, then maybe.
Yeah.
So, here we go, the push coming back in. KNG missed that shot onto Rez in Apartments. Actually, well, I guess he legged him. It's down to 15 HP. NiP not going for the aggressive play this time. Look how low Fur's going to be too. Switching the op over to op over to him, Fallen with the M4. And Utility still looking not too bad actually for NiP. The problem is they don't have any Molotovs to actually sanction off parts of this map or dislodge people who are potentially tucked away in the site. I think Lucas, yeah, he's going to be hurt here.
This is where they found the weakness in the last round. Lucas, however, will be able to connect one, but the AWP shot miss allows too much space. Lucas still just going strong. Still, the T's managed to trade things back into a 2 versus 2. 18 seconds on the clock. Looking to try and maybe deny the plant, and actually that's a fairly open one. That's a risk taken from GetRight. Default was definitely the safer. Now it's left onto the youngster Plopsky, but surely they're not going to expect him to do this. He's looking to wrap back around away from his position on the bomb. Already going to be able to spot out one, but he doesn't know the other players behind him as well. He gets around the corner, though. And now he has all the information. Him versus Fallen. Plopsky spraying away, but can't quite finish off his opponent. But he's burning down that clock. Even still, Fallen's going to take it. Even up the scoreline once again. A good attempt from Plopsky, but ultimately it's Fallen to close it out.
So many crucial clutches from both teams in this 38-round match so far. Look at that. Look at MIBR side. 22 lowest, 26 highest. 3 players on 24. 1 on 22, 1 on 26. Ridiculous stuff out of everyone stepping up out of MIBR, especially when it counts. You look at 22 to 28 is a split on NiP. So everyone in the server.
Yeah. Ooh, hello.
Or it's high.
Peek into middle. Maybe trying to add a little bit of spice. What has been fairly standard rounds, very aggressive rounds of that. As I said yesterday, it becomes an all-out brawl when it gets to overtime. You've used a lot of your strategy. It's the individuals who seem to steal these rounds away. Think Lekr, think Fur. We've managed to win some of these overtime rounds. Now it's going to be that attempt once again. The A site is where this brawl has been happening, and Plopsky with 2 entry kills. However, Taco looks to be the hero. Instead, he's dropped and Fallen. Well, it's the same scenario that we saw GetRight in not too long ago. A 1 versus 3. An AWP to his name, a smoke down, and not much time on the clock. This would have to be a huge mistake from the Ninjas. You can think of all the heroic plays that Fallen has made in the past, but this would have to be one of the best, especially with the amount of time left on the clock. Not going to be getting anything done. The lead now taken from NiP. Now, we saw them win a couple of rounds on the CT half last time. That's all they need to do once again, but I think we learned from yesterday that it doesn't really make a difference where you're winning the rounds anymore. 3 rounds and 3 rounds in the game yesterday. And then I think it was all 3-1 on the T side instead by Mouse Sports when they carried forward. So we'll see how it's going to go here.
I wonder if Force is going to be on the op in this. Or if he'll, oh, there's my answer. Again, I feel like the...
I wonder.
Well, I mean, I saw it already. Calm down.
Interesting that the T's haven't picked up any. I think because the success in their rounds came from very fast A plays. In fact, that's what worked for both teams. So it doesn't really leave space for like KNG or Fallen to have an AWP. And by the looks of it, they are opting to go for something similar once again, just taking this aggressive control, running straight towards the apartment. There's 3 players currently on the B site for NiP, so they haven't clocked on to these sort of plays just yet, and it's the wrap straight around the corner. Lecro has to try and get back into the pit. Nice shot from Forrest to start things off, but he needs more. He's going to try and help out Lecro, but unfortunately he's already dead. KNG holding rotations, and clinical from him to even things up once again. The first round go the way of MIBR. Now, what do you do, Jason? Do you adapt? Do you put more players on the A site and risk your B defense, or do you just hope that they go to the B site and keep that stack there?
I don't think you gamble necessarily. I mean, you still have a round technically to give. Giving them a free site where you're not even going to try to even retake is something that I don't think you can ask a team to do at this point in the game. I think maybe a little bit earlier utility usage. Obviously, suss them out a little bit earlier on if they're trying to push up mid or trying to push through alt mid a little bit quicker. You can see KNG getting very aggressive towards Banana. And Forrest actually holding more of an aggressive spot, so they'll actually be able to see them coming a little bit early on. As we saw with the X-ray, there was a chance he was able to pick up a kill. Flashbangs being thrown in. The support wouldn't be there towards Arch. He gets the leg. He backs up into the smoke, hits the shot with the Deagle. And KNG respawns, but they still have 2 players left towards the site. Look how aggressive Get Right is down towards the bomb Banana. We have not seen this, I don't think, a single time so far in this match out of NiP. He has a smoke to maintain this position and allows the rotation to come through at Aplopsky, so we are seeing a little bit more of a stack like you were mentioning before, just a little bit later in the round. Though I think Get Right's going to have a ton of company coming his way if he can't get through this. And he just walks away and survives. So 4-on-4. Popsky rotating back towards B, has an incendiary grenade, which they're going to need to stall any sort of aggression. And Get Right gets caught by KNG, though, in the transition back. And Popsky's not going to be here in time. The incendiary comes down. The smoke's being used to cut off his CT spawn. And now he can't even contest the bomb really going down.
Yeah, there's not really much he can do here, of course, being that it is overtime and 16k, money is not an issue. Of course they're going to be going for this. Every single clutch will be fought for. And Lecro, he's had some clinical plays in overtime. This would have to be one of the best. He gets 2 kills within a matter of seconds. KNG already tagged, low on HP. Already 3 kills to his name. He's not looking in the right direction. He quickly switches his gaze towards exactly where Lecro is, and he'll hold on to this round. We question the AWP being back on that T side, but he makes it work. And just too close for comfort. Lecro, I almost felt like he was going to do that there.
It was one of those moments. It was definitely possible. I mean, in a 1-on-3 to get the nice double, that shot right there in KNG, I think that's what saved the round for MIBR.
Seeing it, I don't know how that shot hit.
Yeah.
Like, it was like the first time I was like, oh, damn. And then the second time I'm like, nope, still don't understand. No, you slow it down as much as you like.
Yeah, if he was able to escape, he might have been able to stall for some extra time. Popsky might have been able to get back in time as well to help out. Really unfortunate, but again, I'm not going to put the entire match on that one little play right there. KNG getting the 4K in the end definitely helps. And now we need to see NiP take this round to keep him in overtime. MIBR looking to take Inferno, a map that they've, the last 6 months, have struggled on time and time again. 2-14 on it. Albeit slightly different rosters. I wonder if first he's just going to go for the hyper-aggressive play again over towards
I wouldn't really blame them. I would actually quite like them just to see if they can go aggressive towards that A side again. Because it would be a bit of a surprise. Just like, this is such a high-pressure round. For them to just go running into this site would be somewhat crazy, but I think it might just work. However, the setup is here. Again. Short control. They are going to attempt it. Lucas catch one on the other side, but they were ready for this. NiP were prepared. Rez does well, but even still, he gets taken down. KNG has stepped up big, but do they expect Lecro? He's normally around this area. They should have an idea, but he's going to be sat in the corner. 1-for-1 trade. Lucas tagged down to just 26 HP, and Get Right is quick on his tails. A big clutch to be made.
He made a sound.
Slightly misses the timing. The boost up going to be coming in. I think he expects it. No, and he hits the timing perfectly. Lucas with a big clutch. And that's going to be MIBR winning this map unexpectedly. A massive comeback, a throwaway from the Ninjas in Pajamas. And now the Brazilians, well, you can see how happy they are with that victory. A map that hasn't been good within their pool, and they managed to come back from a hefty deficit. And just look at the other side of things. This is not what you want to be seeing. NiP should not have gone that way.
I mean, it's not a match you want to lose either with how long it went with double overtime. With victory in your grasp, and then to lose in the last second, and then to know that the next map you're going to isn't even going to be the map of your choice. But it's so unfortunate that just that one footstep he made caused him to turn around and caused the attention to be focused towards short. And then the great position, the great timing as well, catch him with a smoke out to peek over the box.
Just think about the last 2 rounds. Like, Lekro almost wins a 1 versus 3 with a spray down onto 2, and then KNG just looks at exactly the right moment to get the kill. And then again, Lucas hears that footstep, turns around, and just jumps up and gets rid of Get Right as well. So it was like so close towards the end that it really could have gone either way. But the fact it went to MIBR is what the worrying signs are for NiP.
Yeah, and with Dust 2 as the next map, who knows what's going to happen there if NiP can't really show up. But you know what, Tom? We're going to go take a break because we had a long one. Let's go over and pimp out our desk.
Pimp out our desk. That's you, Jacob. And that was a heck of a game. Double overtime required, and MIBR win on Inferno. Not their map at all.
NiP leading 14-8. Yes. Looking good, you know. I was about to get up here. I was preparing myself to be positive about NiP. NiP.
Wow, that's a change for you.
That's a change for me, but all of a sudden it falls apart once again. We see the problem with this lineup, right? It was up to Forest at the time. It was 14-14. I believe he got a 4K, and he was, you know, playing hearts out. Got some entry frags as well. He was the reason why they got that 15th round, but they still couldn't close it out. So despite having some of your best players playing well, you still end up going in and losing to MIBR, who before this game were 2-14 in LAN matches the past 6 months for this core of the lineup on Inferno. That is absolutely horrible.
Horrible, and it almost is as bad as the 11-4 loss.
As worse.
You think it's worse? Because they had an 11-4 lead this morning in their first matchup and ended up in overtime with that. They eventually won it, but even still.
Worse, way worse.
Yeah, I mean, when this Inferno pick came out, you know, I was expecting something out of NiP that we saw in the first half, right? Fantastic T-side, great utility usage, the rifles were out there. And when we went to the second half, they didn't really convert. There was MIBR who, you know, up the ante. Now I'd like to highlight KNG, for example, because he has been fragging lights out. If you remember that little boost over mid, over the smoke by the NiP guys, and KNG was anticipating that. So it looks like the MIBR boys also did their homework on this map. Yeah,
well, he certainly hit a few shots. Forrest had a couple of boosts inside the back of the side as well. For me, the CT sides were lackluster. That's the sign of a team that's missing communication.
Yep.
CT sides, you tend to depend on one another. You play off each other. That comes with time, and both these teams seem to lack that right now.
Yeah, I think MIBR is just not a great Inferno team. They showed that time and time again. There's a reason they keep playing it, and I don't know what it is, but they seem a little bit stubborn about, you know, putting that out of the veto. But it was NiP's pick, right? So you must assume NiP had prepared properly for this one. And as you said, it looked like in the beginning, initially in the game, they were playing well. They had a good idea of how to utilize, you know, the weak side of MIBR's CT side. Got the rounds they needed to close it out. They're up 14-8. The fact that you're not able to close out a game like that and you end up losing, that's just devastating for NiP. There's no doubt in my mind they're going to go into Dust 2 feeling hammered down, and they're probably going to lose that one as well.
And we saw this morning how upset they were even with the victory that they got, because it cost them a bit of time to, you know, have 11-4 lead. They ended up having to clutch back a 1 versus 2 by Get Right on Train just to get them to overtime, and then they eventually won the map, but they did not look happy. Same thing here. They're not going to be pleased with this. Dust 2 comes up next. Now, that's MIBR's choice. And a bit more of an open map, bit more puggy, which maybe favors them. But again, these CT sides are such a problem. I think it's going to be a lot of run and gun.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely MIBR's court, more on MIBR's court, like you mentioned. And what I want to see from NiP here is that first half NiP. You know, we saw it versus Advokacik on overpass. We had the rifles going out. We had them taking the entries on that, you know, monster area, in the connector area. And if they can get this rolling on, for example, A long or in the B side with the wraps, that's where NiP could actually possibly make a move on this map. But otherwise, yeah, this is MIBR all the way.
If you got to find a few of the positives within the NiP camp right now, Forrest is playing relatively well. He's going to be very crucial, especially on Dust 2 now being the main AWP player. You have GetRight, who's actually having a decent tournament so far. He's been struggling for quite some time. There's a reason they wanted to remove him from the lineup. There's a reason he's potentially getting removed after this tournament. He's been struggling for quite some time, but at this tournament, he seems to have found some of that old, flair that he used to have as a player. So you got that going for you as well. Plopsky had a decent Inferno as well. I think he ended at 9 or 10 multi-kills, so he's there as well in terms of fracking abilities. So you got that going for you, but you still end up losing on Inferno. So I'm having a hard time seeing how you're going to close down the pace that MIBR can put on you on a map like Dust 2. As you said, it's very open, and it allows for MIBR to dictate the pace.
Well, that's kind of where I want to go, because Plopsky, he's the new blood in. You mentioned it, GetRight maybe going out. Is Plopsky impressed? Has he done enough between Moscow and now to really cement himself in this lineup?
For me, no.
I mean, right here this tournament, maybe at Moscow not that much, but at this tournament I am quite impressed by him. Obviously at Moscow it was the Lekro show, right? All the results they achieved was because Lekro was fragging lights out, and we have seen more of that from Plopsky as well this tournament. But the problem for me is that, NiP, a lot of question marks. After that map, after that loss, those question marks, they start actually just, deep inside, you start feeling that. And for a younger player like Plopsky, who does rely on the experience of his teammates to, back him up in moments like these, he might not really get that from them.
And just to elaborate, I don't think it's Plopsky's fault that he's not performing up to the potential that he should be. It's more like the NiP camp, NiP as a whole, right? They're not facilitating him. They're not giving him a safe home, a place where he feels, comfortable, exploring the talent that he has.
So what about this, though? You've got Rez and you've got Lekro. Lekro hasn't been as consistent. Rez, we know, can carry the team. We saw it as far back as Oakland. Can Plopsky be enough to join those two and make them a world-class core?
No, they still need a leader. Like, the biggest problem NiP has right now is the fact that they need a leader on the server and outside of the server as well. I see Peter being a great coach. I think he adds a lot of value in terms of anti-sweating and being a good friend of some of the guys. But in terms of being a leader, a guy that is voicing his opinion or is really hanging up in them. When it's 14-8, take a timeout when you're starting to lose control. Make sure that the players understand what's going on and then finish out the game. You don't see that action. You don't see that proactive, style of coaching from Peter. So they desperately need some sort of leader that can take control over that team. Again, a Kerrigan would have been perfect in that mix.
Danish into a Swedish team. GetRight seems to be in the middle, emotional, maybe too emotional to be the leader.
I mean, I think they did try GetRight. Maybe a few, like a year ago or back, and didn't quite work out. So, yeah, right now it's either you look towards somewhere else in the scene. Golden was just signed by Fnatic, so he's no longer a choice. But right now, yeah, they have to work with what they have.
Yeah, well, we'll see what they have on Dust 2. That's going to be the call for NiP. If not, they are not out. They'll play in a quarterfinal on Saturday. But if they win this, they're straight through to a semi on Sunday morning. And that obviously would match them on the opposite side of the bracket as Mouse Sports, which I'm sure everybody right now, the way that these teams are playing, would like to avoid. We take a break. We join again with our casters. And when we do, it's Dust 2, map number 2 of NiP versus MIBR at V4 Future Esports.